There's a particular kind of exhaustion that sleep does not fix. It's not physical, it's not even emotional, it's intellectual, it's the fatigue of trying, of reading the extra book, of learning the new framework, of staying sharp while the room gets dull. And after years of giving your best to environments that barely noticed, something shifts. You don't stop working. You stop growing, and that is a more dangerous loss. Today we're talking about how to energize your soul for learning again when you feel burnt out from thankless effort. Not because you need praise to function, but because even the most resilient stone eventually yields to a drop of water. The Stoics understood endurance, modern psychology understands burnout, and thinkers like Carol Dweck, Stephen Covey, and even Nietzsche understood growth under pressure. This episode is your field guide back to intellectual vitality. Part 1: Recognize the erosion. Burnout is often described as overwork, but research from Christina Maslach, one of the leading researchers on burnout, shows it is more deeply tied to three things: emotional exhaustion, cynicism, reduced sense of accomplishment. Notice that third one, reduced sense of accomplishment. You can be performing at a high level and still feel like you are not moving. That stagnation kills curiosity, and curiosity is the fuel of learning. Acknowledge that your fatigue is not weakness, it is accumulated friction. Sometimes even to live is an act of courage. Continuing to try in a thankless environment is not fragility, it is stamina. But stamina without renewal becomes erosion. Part 2: Separate learning from environment. Somewhere along the way, your brain may have fused two things, effort and reward. You tried. You gave, you improved, and the system did not respond. Why bother? This is not laziness. This is protective conditioning. Psychologists studying motivation, particularly Desai and Ryan's self-determination theory, show that intrinsic motivation thrives on three needs: autonomy, competence, relatedness. In thankless environments, relatedness dies first, then autonomy shrinks, then competence feels irrelevant. To re-energize learning, you must detach it from external validation. You do not learn for them. You learn because growth is who you are. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Learning is the cultivation of thought quality. It is sovereignty. Part 3: Reduce the scale, not the flame. When you're burnt out, the instinct is to stop entirely. But the Stoics did not advocate withdrawal from life. They advocated moderation. Instead of trying to master a new language, read one paragraph. Instead of redesigning your entire skill set, explore one concept. Tiny, deliberate learning sessions rebuild identity without overwhelming the system. James Clear, in his work on habit formation, highlights that identity shifts through repeated small actions. You do not become a learner again by declaration. You become one by repetition, 5 minutes daily. 10 deliberate notes, 1 thoughtful reflection. The flame does not need to roar, it needs to stay alive. Part 4: Reconnect learning to meaning. Viktor Frankl observed in the harshest of circumstances that meaning, not comfort, sustains human beings. If your learning was once tied to ambition, promotion, recognition, or proving yourself, it will collapse when those incentives fail. Who do I become when I learn, not what do I get? He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Your why must evolve beyond external applause. Maybe it is mastery, maybe it is intellectual freedom, maybe it is the quiet pride of competence. Learning as identity is resilient. Learning as currency is fragile. Part 5: Protect your energy intelligently. There is a difference between perseverance and self-sacrifice. Even a drop of water will eventually pass through rock, but the rock is not weak. It is consistent exposure without recovery. Build friction boundaries. Limit the conversations that drain you. Say no to performative overextension. Choose projects aligned with skill growth. Stephen Covey's principle of sharpening the saw is relevant here. We must never become too busy sawing to take time to sharpen the saw. Sharpening is not indulgence, it is maintenance. Learning in small, protected doses becomes sharpening again, not performance. The learner was never gone. Your soul is not tired of learning. It is tired of being unseen, tired of effort without dignity, but curiosity is deeper than validation. Before performance reviews, before politics, before thankless managers, there was a part of you that loved understanding how things work. That part still exists. It may be quieter, but it is intact. When you shrink the scale but keep the consistency, energy returns, not as frantic ambition, but a steady flame, closing. If you feel worn down, dulled, less eager than you once were, do not confuse erosion with identity. You are not the rock that cracked. You are the mind that endured. Start small, learn privately, protect your energy, reconnect to meaning. And watch what happens, because when learning becomes an act of self-respect instead of self-sacrifice, your soul wakes up again, quietly but powerfully.